What's up, guys? Good. Dude, my reception's so bad out here in my garage. Good morning. So I was going through my precision nutrition, some of the certification, like the program, right? My courses. And as I was like going through this stuff, I started to realize like, oh man, okay, so this is this and this is this. Like kind of categorizing or putting a name. I hate to use the word label, but just really helping me cultivate my brain and learn what I am feeling. I think a lot of times I feel a certain way and I don't understand it. We were on vacation last week and it was so much fun. The kids had so much fun. I mean, traveling with kids, right? With like 3 kids and 2 dogs can be kind of stressful, obviously, but we had a lot of fun, which is why I could not understand why I was also super irritable, why I was feeling like a failure, and why I was feeling like so hopeless, really, about my future, I guess. I don't know. Just a few weeks prior to last week, I had like bursts of energy. I felt really organized. I felt like I was very productive, and I felt like I had found a great balance in my life. And then all of a sudden, it was like one day I was just like, oh my gosh, like in a bad mood and super irritable. And I don't know if you're like me, but I really try to understand why I'm feeling a certain way. I need to put like a name to it. Rachel, what's up? Amy, what's up? Dennis, what's up? Destiny, what's up? Steph, what's up? Cynthia, what's up? But when I'm feeling a certain way, I really want to know, like, I need to have a reason for feeling a certain way. Like, and I cannot be the only one. The reason I want to share this with you guys is because this morning, as I was going through my certification, right, like the course material, I'm also wearing like this thing, right? And like I jumped or something, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm jiggling. And I think it's important for all of us to understand that, number one, it's okay to jiggle. It's natural to have jiggle. It's natural to have cellulite. It's like natural, right? But if I were to sit there and pick myself apart about being jiggly, it would just make things so much worse, number one. And number two, like, do I want rock hard abs? I mean, of course, it'd be great to have a 6-pack, right? But not, of course, it'd be great. I used to have a 6-pack back in the day. I used to be nice and lean. But I started to think like, man, no way. Like, I don't want to work out that much. And I want to share this with you guys because I think too often we see people who like look a certain way or have a certain lifestyle, and we think like, oh, they love it. They're living their best life. They do it because they feel like it every day. And if you didn't see my other video while I was on vacation, go check it out. It's from last Saturday. But I think it's important to tell you guys, like, number one, like, I deal so much with a lot of, like, I have mental health, I don't know what you call them, issues, things, just mental health struggles. Like, I struggle with mental health tremendously because, well, there was 2 things I was talking about, right? But I started thinking about, like, Eva, why are you losing weight, right? Or are you not even, I thought about it. I want to share this with you guys. Yes, I've lost 15 pounds, right? But I was not motivated to lose 15 pounds really because I just wanted a certain number on the scale. I think it's so important for you guys to grasp this. If you are truly seeking like a healthy lifestyle and balance in your life, and you want to teach others or teach your kids and your family how to be healthy as well. I don't believe health has a look. Health is not a number on the scale. And then when I was looking at myself being like, oh my gosh, you're jiggly, be like, yes, you are jiggly. Like, you would have to, like, in order to not be jiggly, guys, like, you gotta be low in body fat. And really, like, you can lose weight, right? Like, you can lose weight and still be jiggly if you are not lifting weights consistently, right? If you're not on some kind of weightlifting program, because lifting weights, boom, makes you nice and tight. Which I do lift weights, but I'm going to be completely honest, I do, like, the minimal required. Like, legitimately. It's not something, sometimes it's great for me. Like, it makes me feel amazing. Sometimes I want to do it, but honestly, I do the bare minimum. I enjoy running for my mental health. I've noticed that, like, if I run, I feel better afterwards, and so I focus more on that. But I have to, guys. I have to do things for my mental health, because if I do not, if I don't start to do what's called the deep work and learn about what my triggers are, right, for stress, anxiety, whatever is going on in my brain at the time, if I'm not able to recognize those triggers, I don't know how to, I might be thinking I'm going crazy all the time. And once I'm able to recognize those triggers, right, that trigger stress, then I'm able to then learn coping techniques, mechanisms, lifestyle changes, habit changes, whatever you want to call them, to help improve that. Another thing though, and I'm going to share those with you, okay? There's 6 stressors, like 6 categories of stressors: physical, mental, emotional, social, existential, and environmental. And I'm going to explain a little bit, like give you examples of what those are, but also talk about deep recovery techniques or tips for each one of those as well. But I think something that's very important to put out there, a lot of times, like when you tell people that you have depression, right, or anxiety, they'll be like, oh, well, what's wrong? Like, what are you so sad about? Or what are you so worried about? And I think it's important for everybody to know that stress manifests, number one, differently for everybody, right? We all have different triggers. We all deal with stress in a different way. But depression is like, it's not a feeling that comes on like because something's wrong. Clinical depression is like everything could be great in your life, like my life is. Like literally, my husband is amazing. I love him. He's extremely handsome. My kids are healthy and amazing. Like, I love watching them do things and I love them. I love my dogs. I love where I live. I love what I do. Like, I love coaching. I love learning this kind of stuff. But I literally can still, in like all of that blessing, there's no explanation for the hopelessness, for my fatigue. I get really tired. I start feeling, I get irritable with my kids, with everybody. I really want to isolate. I don't want to be around people. And like in the last 3 years, I've really started to recognize that, like, I went from being like, what's wrong with me? Like, what do I need to change in my life? Like, what do I need more of, right? Do I need to make more money? Do I need to make a career change? What do I need to change in my life? Like in the material or whatever, so that I can be happy. But as I started to learn about my depression, like, and what depression really is, clinical depression, I can't say that it's like I can't say that it's make everything better, but it's really helped me to understand that, like, I go through these cycles. And sometimes I was talking to my sister yesterday, I'm like, dude, I don't know what the heck is wrong with me. And I think if you struggle with real clinical depression, that sometimes you think like you're just hopeless, you're broken. Yesterday I was thinking that. I was like, man, like, no matter what I do, it's like I still end up going in these cycles. And I just, something triggers me, and then I just feel like everything starts to spiral. What's wrong with me? Am I broken? Is there any hope for me? Like, guys, something I haven't been super open about lately, because I think it's kind of important for everybody to find their own journey and do what's right for them. But I've been on antidepressants since December of 2020. Yeah, because all of 2021, and yeah, I've been on them for about a year and a half now. And honestly, it has worked. It's worked great for me. It has not completely taken away my depression. And I love Jesus, right? I go to church. I read my Bible. Sometimes I don't read my Bible as much as I should, because I don't feel like it, because I just feel hopeless, and I just feel, man, I just feel like shit, you know? And I get discouraged, and I've been really struggling with that. And it started last week, kind of before we left on vacation. And it just, man, all the way through. And I just would get so, like, what the hell's wrong with me? I broke down in the bathroom at my mother-in-law's house on Friday night. And I was just like, Lord, like, why? And I'm just sharing this with you guys. Like, this is just, I didn't like really prepare anything except for the 6 stressors. But I just want to share this with you guys, because I think a lot of people like look at me and they think that I got it all together, or they think, oh yeah, you know, she's got this and this, whatever. Of course she's happy. I don't want that, like, perception online of me. Like, I don't want to be a flashy person. I hope you're not thinking like, oh, I want to be just like her. Why does she have this and this? Like, I just want to share my journey with people, and let them know that everybody has issues. And if you sit there and say that you don't, and that your life is perfect, well then, fine, I guess. Or if you want to pretend on the internet that it's perfect, fine. And I get it. Like, we post things that we're happy about and the highlights on social media. That's all good. I'm not saying that's bad. But I don't want people to feel bad about their lives because they're comparing my highlights on social media. You know what I mean? Like, my best moments that I share with you guys on social media, like, if you're comparing every second of your life to that and thinking that you have a bad life, or thinking that, you know, whatever, like, I don't want that to be. I want to share with you guys that, look, like, I was on vacation, I was happy, I posted pictures of my kids, all that, but, like, you guys don't know what's going on in people's brains. You don't know what's going on in people's marriages. You don't know what's going on with people's kids even, right? With their kids' mental health and the burden that some people carry. And so my hope is just to take, like, where I'm at, right? And help just share my story in hopes that maybe it would help you either dig a little deeper into what you're experiencing, get professional help, talk to a mental health professional, something, right? Somebody that you love. Because honestly, I told my sister yesterday, I was like, dude, I've just been so, like, down. I've been feeling hopeless, like a failure, like I can't ever do anything right, or I'm always going in this cycle of feeling like crap and feeling tired. And that's why I'm so afraid to commit to things, because I never know, like, I'll be good for a couple weeks and then all of a sudden I just start to crash. And I just feel like I feel overwhelmed, and I feel like I can't take one more thing. And so my weight loss, right, has been a result of me wanting to change the way I physically feel. I didn't want to feel bloated anymore. I didn't want to feel tired anymore. I wanted to, like, assist my brain and my mental health to the best of my ability in a holistic, natural way, right? With also the assistance of an antidepressant, right? Medicine. And I'm not saying medicine is not for everyone, right? What I did is, like, I cleaned up my diet, started running. Like, this was in 2020. I suffered bad anxiety to the point where I was going to pass out, physically manifesting, not so much thinking, but like just physically. And so I made a lot of lifestyle changes, but it still was not enough. And so I got on the antidepressants, and it's really helped. And talking to a psychiatrist, right? A psychiatrist is somebody who is able to prescribe you medication based on your mental health or whatever, right? Talking to a psychiatrist and learning about like depression and why, like, certain triggers and things like that has really helped me, but it hasn't cured me, guys. And I don't know if there's necessarily a cure for depression. And I don't know, it's so like discouraging to say. But my sister was like, you know, whatever, I honestly, like, I think it's just something that we're born with sometimes. Like, some people are born with physical disabilities, and some people are born with mental disabilities. And like I don't mean to say it in a harsh way, but like, you just got to do what you can with what you've got. Like, sometimes, like, when those depression like spirals hit, you just got to keep going and just, okay, it will pass. And she's right. And so yesterday I was like, damn, she's right. Because honestly, I was kind of throwing myself a pity party the last couple days. And I had a serious panic attack driving home from California Sunday. Like, I had to tell Sam, I was like, babe, you got to pull over. Like, I'm going to have an anxiety attack. I could feel like these waves, and it felt like shock waves going through my body. And I started to like shake, you know, my whole body felt like it was buzzing. My hands were shaky. Had to take really deep breaths. I stretch. I do like these lunges where I like tense my whole entire body. I do very slow lunges. I get out in the sun. I don't know, something about the heat that kind of helps me. Sam like massages my back, like some deep rubs in my upper shoulders and my neck, right? And then I got back in the car, guys. I had to close my eyes for 30 minutes straight. And there's this like deep healing prayer that I have learned to walk myself through. And as much as I didn't want to do it, I did. But I closed my eyes for 30 minutes because, number one, I could not keep my eye. Like, I could not, every time I opened my eyes, it was like the world was too much. I started feeling dizzy and lightheaded. And I knew that this was an anxiety attack. So I had to breathe and pray and ask God to reveal certain things so I could hand them over to him. And then I asked God to fill those spaces, the things that I gave up, that I asked him to like just uproot. Like, Lord, grab it and pull it out from the deepest root, and then fill me with this, right? It's you have to be intentional, and especially with 3 kids, 2 dogs in the car. Noise canceling headphones are amazing for that. But it was tough, and like I had to like find a way to get myself through that. 2 years ago I could not. 2 years ago I didn't understand what was happening. I didn't understand that I was having a legit anxiety attack. I had to call 911 on the side of the freeway one time, and they checked me all out, and they're like, you're good, you're healthy, everything, your heart, blood sugar, just probably stress or anxiety. And so learning those things, right, have been very helpful to me. But I want to share with you guys 6 stressors, right? And maybe this isn't necessarily like totally like talking about depression here, but I'm gonna tell you guys a little bit about stress and recovery. Okay? And we're gonna talk about these 6 things, the 6 stressors, and then how you can kind of learn to start to work towards deep recovery. Okay? We want to go to 3 key facts of stress. So, the 6 stressors, right? We can experience them physically, like as far as poor sleep, illness, injury, hunger, dehydration. That all causes it causes stress, right? These physical things. Guess what? When you're hungry, it stresses your body out. It induces stress when you're hungry, when you're dehydrated, illness, injury, right? If you're not sleeping well, that can induce stress, and that's categorized as physical. Mental or cognitive stress, right? Like information overload, having to make too many decisions, having to solve very difficult problems, right? Or make very difficult decisions. Then the third category is emotional, right? Emotional stress, painful emotions, guilt, sadness, loss, discrimination. Number 4 is social stress. So conflict with family and friends, loneliness, and discrimination as well. Number 5 is existential or spiritual stress, right? Feelings of hopelessness, feeling like you have no purpose, maybe a crisis of faith or your identity. And number 6 is environmental. So this is kind of like what's around us, right? The temperature, if it's 115 degrees outside, pollution, noise, your safety, if you feel like you're in an unsafe situation, right? All 6 of those are the major categories of stress. And I'm gonna share with you the 6 these 6 stressors, kind of like how we can start to work towards deep recovery in those specific ones. So maybe right now, maybe you start to think about which one of those stressors, right? Physical, mental, emotional, social, existential, or spiritual, environmental, like which ones are you experiencing now, or which ones have you been feeling like you experience? And a lot of times they're kind of connected, right? You can be experiencing more than one. Usually we're experiencing more than one, and it creates like this stress cycle. Here's some key facts about stress. We all experience stress, but the good thing is we all have the capacity to recover from stress. And if we recover well, we thrive, okay? The balance between stressor and recovery, okay, is what determines our deep health. And our deep health is a whole person, whole life approach to the 6 stressors here that I was talking about, right? So the balance, your balance between stressors and recovery is what determines your deep health, physical, mental, emotional, social, spiritual, and environmental health. Okay, your performance and your quality of life. And it also shapes how we function, how we feel, how we think, how we form relationships and act in the world. So your balance between stressors and recovery. Okay, we all experience stress, but how you recover from stress is what determines your deep health in all 6 of those categories that I was talking about. Okay, so the stressors that are often, like stressors are often connected, right? So physical stress, if you're not sleeping well, then you might be a little bit more sensitive to the environmental stress, right? Like at your workplace, it might be noisy, whatever. Then you have existential stress, right? That like spiritually, you might be feeling discouraged and having like a crisis of identity or feeling hopeless. And then maybe then that causes social stress, like in your relationships with your husband and things like that. But how we respond to those stresses or those stressors, right, is going to determine our quality of life, and our deep health, in our performance. Okay, so deep recovery in these 6 categories of physical stress, mental stress, emotional stress, social stress, spiritual stress, and environmental stress. Okay, physical stress, some of the things that you can do is nutrition to support recovery in physical stress, right? Varied movement that promotes physical adaptation and function. So walking, running, maybe it is workouts, but something that you enjoy, right? Physical varied movement that promote enough good quality sleep would be one of those. Okay, what about emotional stress? What if you're experiencing a lot of emotional stress, right? Recognizing that, expressing it, so expressing and sharing emotions appropriately. Okay, maybe it's with a therapist, a psychiatrist, maybe it is with your husband, maybe it is with a trusted friend or a mentor, somebody like that, right? And taking time away from difficult emotions. So if you're experiencing emotional stress, is there a way that you could take time away from difficult emotions, right? And purposefully evoking positive and calm states. Meditation is known to be, and I'm sure all of you guys have heard of it, a great way to deal with these kinds of stress. But it doesn't have to be you sitting and like listening to a guided meditation, right? It doesn't even have to be that. It could be walking outside, really focusing on the way that the wind blows through the trees. Or if you're lucky enough to be like near a bed of water, right? Like a river, a creek, or the ocean, by just sitting and recognizing and meditating on the movement of the water and the way that God has created everything to just work so in sync. I was taken back, dude, when we were at the beach this last week, and we could hear the waves, we could see the waves just coming in and out, and that is all determined by the moon's gravitational pull on the earth. And it's just crazy to me that these waves, they just come in and out. So meditating, right, taking a break from difficult emotions or purposefully evoking positive and calm states could be as easy as walking outside. And for me, nature is one of those things. Maybe it's reading for you. I don't know. Environmental. Okay, creating a literal and metaphoric space that supports recovery, creating safety and security, eliminating distractions, and access to healthcare as well, right? Some people don't even have access to healthcare. That could be very stress-inducing. Mental, right? The deep work and interspersing periods of focus with periods of mental recovery. I don't know how you guys work, but like when I'm trying to clean my house or maybe even doing laundry, I have learned I hate doing laundry, okay? There's nothing relaxing about doing laundry. My sister says laundry relaxes her. Look, to each its own. That's great. But I will usually fold the laundry, walk away, care for my plants, or do something that I love for a little bit, or maybe even just lay down and listen to music, sit outside for a few minutes, and then I'll put all of the laundry back. Now, a lot of times we don't create space for those mental breaks, right? We don't create space for mental recovery because our schedules are so jam-packed that like we only have a certain amount of time to get this done. Take a break? No way. I can't do that even if I needed to. And that used to be the lifestyle that I lived, and it was extremely stress inducing. And so now I say no to a lot of things, and I really try my hardest not to jam pack my schedule. I give myself margin and buffer time, right, for these mental recovery, like these breaks, because I need them. I have recognized that I need them. Mental play and creativity, building, thinking, and problem-solving skills, engaging in a wide variety of mental tasks, even if it's like a game on your phone or something like that. You know what I mean? I don't know if social media scrolling is considered a mental recovery. I think it's like overload, and I think it's one of the stressors for me, right? But it's up to you to figure out what that would be for you. Existential or spiritual, right? Listen to this, guys. And this really got me thinking. If you are feeling hopeless, right? You're having a crisis of faith, of identity. You're not sure what your purpose is, right? Here are some things that you can consider. Being of service, participating in meaningful activities. I think a lot of times we participate in activities because we think they're good or because we think they look good on paper, right? But really, are they meaningful to you? Are they meaningful to you? And I think a lot of times I considered a meaningful activity as income producing or as helping mass, like making a grand impact, right? But what I'm finding, to me, meaningful activities is spending time with my kids. Even if it's not all day, even if it's like 10 minutes, playing Barbies, going for a walk with my kids. Or yesterday, Aubrey and Deegan wanted to make a boy and girl lounge. Like, Aubrey wanted to make her girl lounge up on the top bunk, and Deegan wanted to make his boy lounge down at the bottom. So I was like, okay, cool. That's a meaningful activity to me. Because I'm like, you guys want to play and learn? Like, I'm down with that. Let's do that. And it makes me feel good, like serving my children and loving them and playing with them and teaching them. And so those are meaningful activities to me, right? What are meaningful activities to you? And then we have time devoted to introspection and reflection, which could be something as simple as like journaling, or sitting and out in nature, right? And starting to maybe write down like what you're feeling and what your thoughts are. I mean, I guess that's journaling too. But the introspection and reflection, right? And this is exactly what I'm doing right now. I find it like when I try to sit and write things down, I get like, I don't know. It's just not the ideal way for me to really, the introspection and reflection, if I can just get on and record something, it really helps me just to say it out loud and just to talk about it out loud. The last one is social. Okay, so healthy, affirming communication and conflict resolution. It's being inclusive and a welcoming community. Safety and security in relationships, being able to discuss challenges, right? So if you're thinking of social, right? If you're having conflict with family, friends, if you're feeling lonely, maybe discrimination, things like healthy and affirming communication and conflict resolution could help an inclusive and welcoming community. If you can find an inclusive and welcoming community that makes you feel safe, right? Safety and security in your relationships. If you can find people that you trust and you feel safe around, I think that's very important. And being able to discuss challenges, right? I mean, I guess what I'm doing here for myself is creating a safe community to discuss my challenges. Being able to discuss my challenges, right? And I know for a fact that here in the gym, that like here at the gym, in this gym, at my garage gym, the women feel safe to discuss challenges. We feel safe and we have a welcoming and very supportive community here. The women that work out here, we are a much smaller group, but I think that's important for everybody to have. And I feel like when you feel as though your mental health is in a place, whether it's in a quote-unquote bad place, right, an unfavorable place, or in a good place, it's important to have a community to express that and to support you in that. So thanks for hopping on and just listening a little bit to what's going on here in my life. I hope that you guys are encouraged, that even if you look at some of my stuff and you think, man, like, you know, she's happy and healthy and all these stuff. Yes, I am. But do not compare. I don't ever want you to compare yourself to my highlights on social media and think that I have it all figured out, because girl, I do not. And I don't want you to get on my social media and my Instagram and be like, look at her, she's so positive, she's always got all this great stuff to say, like you know, whatever it is. The only reason that I do is because I have to do, like, I'm doing the deep work sometimes when it gets really bad. I don't feel like doing the deep work. It's ugly, and I think it triggers some anxiety, but that's where we start to grow, I believe. And actually, here, what I was reading is that stress is required for growth. Let me see if I can find where it says that, because stress is a part of everybody's life, and stress is required for learning and for growing. So how we recover from that stress, right, is what is going to affect the quality of life that we live. And man, the most important thing, man, is what we're pouring into our kids about it. You know what I mean? I think that's my biggest, that is my biggest motivation for getting my mental health. I don't even know, man. Getting my mental health, I don't even want to say figured out, but learning to manage my mental health. I could see my kids struggling in some of the things that I struggle with. And the only way that I could teach them to work through those things is by teaching myself first. And by applying the things to my life first, right? I have to fill my cup first before I can pour out. And so even if I feel hopeless in myself, even if I feel like, man, I just forget it. Like, forget it. I've already lived a good life. I've already accomplished a lot of stuff. I'll just kind of be where I'm at and not make any more growth, not make any more changes. Because literally, that would be the easiest thing to do. But I have these 3 kids, man, that I love them. I see myself in them. I see Sam in them. And I am just, like, overwhelmed sometimes, right? With the feeling of, like, I don't even deserve these kids. And so that's why I want to, that's why I am in the pursuit of trying to figure out how to manage my mental health. And guess what? Fitness, like exercise and nutrition, are a big part of that. God's given us everything that we need in order to thrive in life. And I know that He's not created us to live a life of comfort, but He is good, and all good things come from Him. And I constantly have to remind myself of that, and it's important. That's why it's important to read the Bible and remind yourself of that, and allow the Word of God to transform you and speak to you in only a way that the Holy Spirit can interpret and convict and just do the things that only God can do. So, if you guys are just hopping on, I hope you get some time to listen to this. I think this would be a good one to listen to if you're driving, you're working out, or if you're going for a walk. That's another thing, right? When you go for walks, like, you could either listen to music, but don't forget, you can listen to sermons, you can listen to some podcasts to learn more about specific things, maybe even like cooking podcast, or I don't know. What we pour into ourselves, though, eventually is what, man, comes out. So, all right, guys, I'm rambling. Peace out.